Good evening, Darwin Oracle. Tonight I'm doing a reading, a 12-month spread. Within this reading there are 3 questions that my querant would like me to look at. What I've done to make sure that I'm able to explore these areas is I've broken the reading up into the 4 quarters of the year: January through to March, April through to June, July through to September, and October through to December. And what I'm already feeling is the 2 periods where there's a lot of action and a lot of thought happening is now January to March, and big changes in July and September through to September. So right now you're manifesting the magician. You're actually starting to, and in fact you don't realize that you already know the answers to most of your questions, and you're manifesting the power. I think there is a lot of change around you. In regards to the house judgment, you're asking yourself the questions: do you stay as you are or do you move on? In regards to your relationship in this quarter, you're the Queen of Cups, and actually things are going really well. Emotionally, you're quite happy in the relationship. It's a very one that's filled with emotion and love as well. So, actually right now things are quite happy for you. The only area of your life that you're really having any queries about is your studies, which is represented in this lower line of cards. So just to recap, general for the year, the question regarding moving house, question regarding the relationship, and the question regarding your studies. So definitely the devil, you're actually over it. You feel like you're tied to it, that there's no freedom, that there's no creativity in there. So it's becoming a burden to you. And you seriously are considering, as you wrote to me in the question, to take a year off, maybe. But apart from that, everything seems to be going fairly well for you, and the power is in your hands. The magician is the card that comes after the Fool. So it's the equivalent of 0. So it's starting to manifest things. The ideas, I can tell that you're thinking about things, what's going to happen next. Judgment, you're weighing up the options. Do you stay or do you go? Relationship wise, absolutely confident, happy. It's a good relationship. You're confident within yourself. The devil for your studies. But I actually see that opportunities will come your way that will sway you into staying where you are in regards to your education. So coming into April through to June, you're still in a period where you're not quite sure what you need to do. The 5 of Swords represents some disagreements, and I think this is not with people around you, but actually within yourself. The conflicting interests. What do you do? I feel like as you come into April through to June, you haven't fully committed to whether you stay or go, whether you stay in the relationship or go, or whether you continue with your studies or not. In regards to the house and the position, by this period you've actually either found somewhere that's really nice to live, which is the 9 of Pentacles. That indicates comfortable surroundings, happiness. It also indicates money, so perhaps you're moving to a more affluent neighborhood, or perhaps you're wanting to move into a more affluent neighborhood. So either where you're living right now is really, really nice, or where you're thinking of moving to is really, really nice. I'm not too sure what that means, but wherever you are in this period, you're actually in quite nice surroundings and comfort. And financially, money isn't a problem at this point. In regards to the relationship, it's the Princess of Pentacles. So this is basically similar to the Queen of Cups, although you're going through a playful period, and maybe in regards to moving house and whatnot, there's some pressure on the finances, but this is in the relationship component. So actually the Princess of Pentacles is someone that's becoming more independent. So whereas January through to March it was all about the emotions, April through to June is more thinking about money, and this kind of ties in well with the Nine of Pentacles. So thinking about can you afford to move. In regards to your studies, you've got the Two of Cups, and normally people would represent that with a romantic union, but I feel like, because I've put this in the section for your studies, that you're going to come across someone that is going to engage you and motivate you and possibly help make that decision whether you stay or whether you go. And I think, looking at the other two cards that are in this line, I think that even though it's a difficult decision, you do choose to stay, and that is because of this person or a relationship that's going to become evident in April through to June. And this person will be there to inspire you, to motivate you. Choose wisely. If you've got projects that you need to do and you have to choose a partner, look at who you can work with that will do these things, because I feel like you've got renewed energy, renewed vigor, and a renewed interest and excitement in what you're doing. And hopefully you're passionate about it, because the cups really represents passion and emotions and energy. So maybe something's going to happen that's going to reignite that spark and that desire to want to learn. So I see January through to March as being a time to make big decisions. You're weighing up a lot of things, and I feel like you haven't quite made a decision as you come into April through to June. In saying that, there's going to be some igniting of passions, there's going to be some soul searching, there's also going to be, if there's been some conflict, you're going to put the swords down. As you can see, they're in the ground, and it's a time for reflection, and that again ties in with the Magician. As we move into July through to September, you start to slow down and take stock. So the moon is the time where it's time to really slow down and make those decisions, and to be careful of overdoing things, to be careful of not burning the candle at both ends. Make sure that you look after yourself, and it does indicate late nights awake worrying about things. So this is what I'm saying. This is the period where I feel like if anything's going to happen, it's going to happen within the July through to September period. In regards to moving your house, we've now come to July through to September, and we've got the Fool card. And that makes me start to think that actually you do make that decision to move. So whether you've moved from a comfortable surroundings, it doesn't matter. You're going to go to something that's completely different. And possibly it's going to be a move up, not a move down. And even if there is a housing crisis, I mean, at the end of the day, there is luck coming your way, and this is indicated by the major arcana that are sort of following you around. So this is a year of massive change, but at the same time, the changes that you make are 100% for your benefit. So you're going to take off and you're going to do something absolutely totally crazy in regards to your housing situation. You're going to take a risk, whether that means a share house or coming out of a share house and moving into your own accommodation. You're carefree and you're happy. Even though this line of cards is for the relationship, should you stay or should you go, I really feel like this is the period that you are going to weigh up whether you stay or whether you go. Justice is card number 7, and that's a card of uncertainty. So even now, in this period, you're not quite sure which way the scales of justice are going to go, but a disjustice has a misjustice, I'm not sure what the word is. Something's happened and it's requiring you to think about very carefully the relationship that you're in. Night and day. So it's not something that's smooth sailing. You two are like night and day, but you're also your yin to your yang, as indicated in the pictures here. And there's equality in the relationship. So in light of looking at that, yes, you're not the ideal couple, but you're the ideal couple for yourself in regards that you do work well together. Is there things that you need to work on? I think this is what this card's all about. This might be the time where, if you are going to cement the relationship, the discussions need to be made in the period of June through to September. In regards to your study situation, June to September, I see the star. And I really feel like the cards so far are saying stay in your course. You will get this reignition of passion. Something's going to happen. It might be a person, a lecturer, or a unit of work that comes along that really engages you. But through this period, you're actually going to be doing really well, and actually things are going to come very easily to you. And that's why I think you need to stick with it, because you're going to be having some successes in regards to your course. And we all know that the saying of when you wish upon a star. So now's the time to manifest your goals of what you want to achieve. Put the affirmations out there and it will happen for you. The star, that's a major arcana. So this period has massive changes. There's a lot of reflection. There's a lot of, I'm just going to go with the flow and do what I need to do. It's outside the comfort zone. But luck is always going to be on your side in this period. And in regards to your study, you're actually going to surprise yourself. You mentioned that you don't like written work. I feel like you're going to be quite successful in your studies this year. So most definitely, I would say stick with it. Things are always difficult, but the stars sort of telling me that you're going to handle it in a way that's quite calm. Maybe that's what the moon represents. Maybe there's a lot of late nights coming up in regards to thinking about the relationship, the move, and also the study. So that could be the general spread, just reminding us to look after ourselves, to make sure that we don't overdo things. So moving into October and December. Sorry, October through to December. 10 of Pentacles. You're going to have achieved something by the end of the year that's going to put you into complete a financially secure position. And I believe that this is part of sticking with whatever your course is, because at the end of that, at the end of this year, there's going to be some kind of financial stability that comes into your life. And again, in regards to the house, the King of Pentacles, another money card. So there's some kind of money situation happening towards the end of the year. And I think this is you starting to gain your own independence. Are you buying a house? Are you going to go and speak to someone about getting a loan perhaps? Or will you be needing to get a loan to maybe think about buying somewhere? I'm not sure, but this sort of card would represent someone that you would go to ask for some financial assistance. The Nine of Pentacles, you see, sort of indicates you being a daughter as well. When this has come up for people, it's been a really good card. It means you've been well looked after by family. So is there some kind of family connection to where you're going to move, and will you be asking? But either way, you will become even more independent towards the end of the year. I don't see your partner in your spread today at all, but what I do see is you becoming a much more confident, independent, worldly person in your own right. So in your relationship, you've got card number 3 in the Major Arcana, which is the Empress. She represents Mother Earth. She represents female power and energy and strength, not relying on anybody else. I'm not saying your partner's not going to be there, but something changes in you as you come through the second half of the year. You definitely gain confidence, and I feel like this is a direct result of you staying with your studies, because the more you achieve, the more confident you get. So I don't see your partner in the reading, and I might pull out a couple of cards to see if I can manifest any kind of energy from him. But this reading is all about you and all about your success. It's actually a fantastic reading. You've got some really positive cards that indicate change, but change for the better. You know, there's nothing here that's negative. You start the year, for example, with your studies in not a great frame of mind, not wanting to be there. As you can see, the gentleman is, you know, chained to the devil. You know, you're attached perhaps to you know, the material wealth, because as you know, when you're a student, you don't have money coming in. So there might be a little bit of attachment to the good things in life in that regard. But most definitely in regards to your relationship, you're so much more empowered. Something's happening in the July through to September period that makes you come out, and you are now 100% self-reliant, confident. This is the equivalent of the Emperor. You have achieved something. In regards to your study, you've got the High Priestess. So keep following your intuition. This is all about the higher power. Because you've stuck with it through the hard times, you have developed and I'm trying to think of the word because I've got chemo brain, but oh God, sorry. You have evolved. So the Magician, as I mentioned to you earlier, is the equivalent of card 0 or card 1, because the Fool is card 1. So this is a real year of journey, because you're actually in numerical order for the Major Arcana. So you're starting off now with all the tools in front of you, the Magician. You're creating your own luck, and you end the year on card 2, where what you have learned throughout the year has made you a stronger person. Follow your intuition. That's the key point of this card. Once you do that, you then become card number 3, which is the Empress. So the pain of this year, especially in regards to uni, I would say that that's a major aspect of this year. You start and you finish 100% more. I'm trying to think of the right word. I'm sorry, Sue. I think just generally a person that's come through some kind of journey, and you see things differently now. You're not you know, the Princess of Cups, or sorry, the Queen of Cups, or the Princess of Pentacles. You're the Empress. You're the High Priestess. As a female, they're the top cards that you can get for reaching a place of empowerment. Overall, looking at your spread, the only periods that probably are going to be a touch difficult is the middle part of the year. So coming through April through to September, there's definitely some movement, some risk-taking, some discussions that are going on. Where you're going to thrive is, funnily enough, through the education side of things. There's going to be some reawakening, some reigniting of passion, a partnership. So look very carefully for people that are going to help motivate you to finish. You'll be putting your head down, bum up in the third quarter of the year. And you come out, and actually the success that you have is through your own hard work. The High Priestess isn't someone who gets luck. You know, she doesn't have good luck. She creates her luck. And that's very much, to me, indicated through the Magician. Thank you very much for allowing me to do a read for you. I am just going to do a quick shuffle and see if I can pick up any energy from your partner. But you are 100% confident in who you are, and if you don't feel like that in reality, you're actually on your way to becoming an independent person. And do you need a man in your life? It's always great to have a man in your life. I'm not necessarily seeing him in the picture, but I don't necessarily see any kind of conflict either. So this might be the year where he just has to take a back seat, you know. So maybe he's there, but not your priority this year. So, partnership. Okay, so I've pulled out 3 cards, and again, none of them really relate to partnerships. It once again relates to institutions, to education, and to learning. So the first card that I pulled out was the Hierophant. That's all about higher learning, higher education, lifelong learning, being within a school, talking to a bank, whatever. But in your instance, I think this is, you know, keep your eye on the prize, and that is your education. The next card that I pulled out was the Six of Wands. So this is just saying you're still going 100%, you know, 100 miles an hour this year. Don't forget to take care of yourself. And the last one is again related to your study, the Ace of Pentacles. By completing what you do, you then start on a new journey, which is becoming more independent financially. It's about starting a new career, Ace of Pentacles, Ace being 0. So there's been quite a few cards that to me are connected. There's a lot of new beginnings, the Fool, the Ace, the Pentacles, the Ace of Pentacles, the Magician. These are all cards at the start of a journey, a new journey for you. So I'm sorry, I definitely am not sort of picking up any energy around your partner, which might mean that he's happy to sort of take the background while you focus on you this year. This is all about your year for you to grow. This is all about your year. And maybe here you can see that this is coming out now. Rebirth. If you have any questions regarding this reading, please give me a call. I must admit that, you know, wow, this is my first reading for anybody in a year and a half, and I find that the more I talk, the easier I get. It was definitely difficult at the start because what used to come naturally to me, I have to think about a little bit, but I know that in time it will improve. I really want to hear your feedback on this, and particularly take note of the different periods, the different quarters in your year spread. But definitely this is a year of success and good outcomes. All the final cards in the last quarter are a result of the journey that you've been through in the first 3 quarters of the year. Thank you very much for your time, and I look forward to your feedback.